have homes on different coasts, or go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so freaking rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, and won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading down to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our deaths and go off of the grid, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Thursday night to laugh at all our pain. An evening in the parents' lounge is the cure for staying sane. Yes, we'd like to fake our deaths and go off of the grid, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Thursday night to laugh at all our pain. An evening in the parents' lounge is the cure for staying sane.
Oh my God!
Damn cut. Welcome to another.
Who did those? Is that you? Who did those credits? That was pretty good,
Me.
man.
Dr.
What?
Gowin did those.
Mason?
Oh my God!
I did that. I finished it about an hour before the show.
Oh man!
I was like, oh, I've really not been on so long. They got legit. And it turns out, no, we
Yeah.
all were seeing it for the first time. Great.
Hey, everybody.
That's amazing.
Welcome to the Parents Lounge. I'm Jamie Kaler. It's
Hey,
Parental Mental Health
welcome.
Thursday, joined by my partners in crime, Jason Gowin, Jeffy Lou, and a triumphant return,
Yay!
Cornerstone, the pedestal that we're all on, the glue, the first day when God had 7 days, she was day one. Kate Mulligan is
I was a
here.
Monday. It was
It was
massive.
a fucking Monday.
You're a good
I
Monday, yeah. It was a
cannot-
good Monday.
I cannot
Thank you.
tell you how happy I am to see you back on this show.
I feel pretty medium about it. I'll be honest, guys.
I don't know you that well, so I don't have a feeling, but I will get to know each other better. I'm
We
sure.
will. We sure will.
Yeah.
No, I thank you guys for having me back. It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
And really such a long
Doesn't
time.
so it's so funny because I'm sitting here and in the background I'm watching the Fire Aid, and so the show, it's crazy. You go, you know what? I forgot how fucking great California is, and if you're out there and you think we're a horrible state, I should remind you we're the fifth largest economy on the planet. We fund so many other states, and I was watching this Fire Aid concert from Staples. Veritable who's who of like performers. It's amazing.
Who is it? Now I want to know.
Netflix, it's everywhere right now. It's broadcasting, and I just watched Anderson .Paak with Dr. Dre and Sheila E. do California knows how to party. And I was like, you know what? Yes, California knows how to party, and
Oh my God,
and
Green Day?
kind of a nice reminder of all.
Also, Jamie, if you're somebody who doesn't like California, stay where you are. We're good.
Yeah.
I
don't need
know,
you
I
here.
know. But listen,
We don't need
I'm from
you
New Hampshire. I love New Hampshire. I have family in Florida. I love Florida. I've done shows in every state, and every state I've gone to, I've gone, this place is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always amazed when people just light up other people. And sometimes it takes a crazy tragedy like the fires, Boston Strong, all these different cities when they have something happen, a shooting or something, and then the rest of the country goes, actually, you know what? Vegas is pretty great. And you're like, oh, great. But it takes this, it's a tragedy. And then everyone goes, you know what? I've said some shitty stuff about Nashville, but Nashville is actually pretty cool. Yeah. They're every place. It's the whole country is pretty great.
Let me add.
Yeah.
Let me add to this also. When people do leave California for whatever reason, they do some good things. They spread out to other states and they make changes and they do good stuff. They are affected by their experience in California and they take it to the rest of the country.
Oh, I
That's
like
what
that.
I've noticed.
I agree. But
I
it's
don't
funny,
even live
Kate.
there, and I'm affected by California on a weekly basis.
Kate, how long has it been since you've been on the show?
It's been a really, really long time. I couldn't say definitively. My dad was still alive the last time I was on the show, I think. So
Oh,
that's the
buddy.
big one.
Our condolences.
Sorry.
And the
Thank
last
you.
time we were here, you kept having to go back to Chicago,
Yeah.
spend time and take care of. And I'm so sorry your dad passed. And
Yeah, he was the best. Yeah, he was the best. It happened this summer. It happened in June. And I'd gone back in May, and also I'm still teaching. I'm still a full-time special ed teacher. And so oh.
Now, Kate,
Okay.
do you live in LA? I don't know.
I
mean,
do.
don't
Yeah, I
wanna-
live in Burbank.
Okay. That's what I thought. I remembered that, I think. Yeah. That's great.
Andrew, we're trying to be positive, brother. I get it. Okay. All right. We'll bring up some stats later, but come on, my brother. We're trying to be positive about. We just went
Line was
I got you.
very.
You're right. You can't beat the weather.
Well, I posted something about it, and somebody was like, they were just lighting me up, and I was like, hey, man, I don't light up Omaha. I don't light up Wichita.
No.
I'm not lighting up. I mean, I light up New Hampshire, but I'm from New Hampshire. Everyone's like, it's beautiful.
I light up Texas, but I'm from Texas. I mean,
I will say, I do think we need to stop saying you can't beat the weather, because the weather is what did this, you guys.
Yeah.
It was the weather this time.
yeah.
War.
I
The
guess,
weather's
the
turned
wind-
on us.
I
wind
know.
attendance.
It was the winds.
Listen,
Hi to
we're
Rita.
all stop angering Andrew. Everybody stop.
Andrew's getting upset.
Let's get back to the most important thing we're all dealing with, Kate Mulligan today.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Listen, we talk about you in the most glowing light. We miss you. We love you. We're so
Aw.
happy to have you back tonight. We know you're teaching. And that's awesome. That is awesome, because you're such, I would imagine you're like, you haven't,
Yeah.
you're teaching kids, so you're not in high school, but otherwise you'd be sleeping with the students. I know.
Yes, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, as we all are.
My guess is you are an amazing teacher.
Well, thank you. That is a nice guess, and I don't know that it's true most days. Today was a hard one. I will tell you today. There are certain days where I'm like, kids 0, Kate 1, right? Today it was like kids 97, Kate
Yeah.
-4.
Why?
One of the teachers today was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, I'm negative right now. I'm hoping to get to 0 by the end of the day. But it's
Do you teach in Burbank? Is that
I
or near?
yeah.
You do. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a special ed teacher. And so something that's been a little bit complicated about this year is that my son is in 4th grade, and my special ed class goes into gen ed with my son. And I had specifically said, let's not do that. But for those of you who don't know, I have a fully bald child from alopecia, totally healthy, just is bald. It's not a great combo to put in a bunch of kids with no filters that just say what they see in with a bald kid. And today, one of the kids got into the gen ed classroom and started screaming about how my son Neil is an alien. You're an alien. You're bald. You're a bald alien.
Wow.
And I'm the kid's teacher. I'm not my son's mom. So it was really a traumatic day where I was like, just gotta okay, and it was just a bummer. It was just a bummer.
You do have a question. Are Jimmy Kimmel's kids in your school?
No.
I gotta say,
Jimmy
my kids and my kids' friends would never. That's the most remote thing. Like, I can't even relate to that. They would never do something like that. I don't know what kids.
You mean
It's so
bully other
weird.
kids? Are you
Well,
talking about bully?
I mean, I know there's bullying. I'm just saying just like the farthest thing from my kids and their friends' mind.
would be
Is
to
that-
like, well,
yeah.
here's the thing. The child's profoundly autistic.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not done out of malice,
Right.
but it is done all the same. Words,
Yeah.
Well,
no matter who they
here's what's
come
great
from,
about
matter,
that.
right? So
Here's what's great about that, because you can when you get alone with the kid, you can beat that kid, and then if they say, "Oh, my teacher beat me," you go, the kid's full of
They're
shit.
lying. They're lying.
Yeah.
Well, since you left, I had to change it to this.
Yeah.
Oh my
By the way,
God.
I have to.
Hilarious.
I know he's not loud for anymore, but I have to say hi to Brandon Heaton, who's still doing animation classes. And
Yep.
also, can we just talk about, is Wild Robot the best movie of the year? Yes or yes?
I haven't seen it yet.
I have not
Pretty
seen
great. Kaler, get your tissue box ready.
My-
Get your tissue
Well,
box.
so it's so funny because yes, I saw it's on. I think it's on Hulu or whatever. But and we're making a movie night over the weekend, so I didn't want to like jam it in and break it into two
Yeah.
parts. So we're gonna do a big movie night and do popcorn and stuff on the weekend to watch it. I can't
Good
wait.
movie for that.
My son saw the work in progress. They got tickets to a Disney work in progress of it, like when it was still black and white, or when it was still being sort of halfway animated. He loved it still.
Oh, it's just.
I'll
and
watch
I know
it.
people like loved the book. I never read the book, but I will tell you that movie.
What-
I was like, like,
What's it
just-
on?
It's
What-
on Peacock. I think.
Peacock.
I
Okay.
think it's
Peacock,
Peacock's
that's
the
what
one
it's
on
on. That's
Yeah.
right.
There's a lot of stuff on Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, a lot of things on that Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
But,
Um,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about teaching a little bit, Mulligan,
Yeah.
because I'm so intrigued on a day-to-day basis. It's so funny because my kids' school, we have to do like a certain amount of hours. Like
Right.
you have to do 20 hours of time at the school. And at first I was like, I don't want to do that. And then as soon as I did it, now I do like 3 times, 4 times that. Like I'm there all the time. Everybody knows me. And I've done like stuff with the teachers where we're like either a field day or something where I'm involved with the students. And I'm with the kids for like 2 hours and I turn to the teacher and I'm like, I don't know how you do this for a living, dude. I honestly, this, like if it was one-on-one, I could maybe get through it. But when there's a ton of them and they're, it's like gremlins, all of a sudden you're like, I
Yeah.
can't be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I actually I sort of feel like my particular job I get to it's challenging in different ways, but I am with I don't know, I'm with the like I just love I've got 11 students and there's different needs in the room and I don't think I would change that. People have said like why don't you go to gen ed? It would be easier. And I'm like I don't know if that's true. I think yes, once you get to gen ed, you've got 32 kids in a classroom, and I feel like that's when like the my dick's bigger competition really starts. Where like there's not like my kids are not like trying to be the head bitch in charge right now. You know what I mean? Like none of them are like some of
Hey,
them.
by
It's
the
like
way, wouldn't it be great? Like you're one teacher with 11 students. Yeah, most classes are 35 kids with one
Yeah.
teacher. Wouldn't it be best if I put my kids in the special ed class? They'd get way more attention.
That's true.
So-
once
Very smart.
And I mean,
you don't.
they're
Unfortunately, you don't get
they're
to
not
place
special
them
ed,
there.
so they'd probably be at the top of the class. They'd
There'd be a ringer. Yeah.
Yeah.
destroy the bell curve. I mean, well, one of my kids would. I can't say which one, but one of them would. The other one might be right in the middle of the pack. I don't know.
My
You've got
saw-
an idea.
Mulligan, we haven't caught up in quite a bit, but so the twins are still at their ABA therapy school.
Yes.
And they both just got dedicated devices to help them speak.
They got the talkers.
Yeah, they got the talkers.
I love it.
Anthony does not want to use it. Actually, Anthony is starting to talk in full sentences, which has been, when we were told, that was never going to happen. The first sentence out of his mouth was, "Mom has a big ass," which was not the sentence we were really looking for from him,
Mhm.
but still an accolade in and of itself.
But also, it is the sentence we expected from him. You know,
Also true. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
he doesn't fall far from the apple doesn't fall far from the proverbial tree.
yes.
Gets it from his mother. And Logan, however, uses his device, and we didn't realize that he had such a quick sense of humor. And so the other night we're like, "Okay, Logan, it's time for dinner." And he held up the device and typed, "No, want dinner, want cookies." And got this big smile. And so we had to do like this evaluation with all of the therapists, and he held up the device and they're like, Logan, show your mom and dad what you can do with the device. And they're like, why don't you write I love mom or I love dad? And he wrote, I love goldfish crackers.
I will tell you, those devices really, like, when they are helpful, but I had a kid last year who used it. Like, he had apraxia, so it was actually about pronunciation. Okay, so it was really about, like, he just really couldn't say where. I mean, he could make sounds, but they weren't like, it wasn't sounds that necessarily. But he loved. We put all of the kids' names like in the thing. So like, let's say it was Jamie's name. And it's like it's a computer. It sounds like the speak and spell voice. It would be like, and so you could put it in and then you hit play and it plays it and it would be like, Jamie, 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 sandwich. It was, and like, the kids would lose it. And we're like, all right, well, you're not using it right. You can't have it anymore. Like, I mean, they're of course entitled to it, but it would just be like, he would just put people's names in. And then like one random word. It's like when you get like a string of emojis and it's like, like it was just like that. Anyway.
That's so crazy. My wife got one of those recently. And the other night, like in the middle of the night, all I heard was Jamie, 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 no. And I was like, oh
God.
It's the sentence we expected from her.
Yeah, again.
Cell phone ring. Jamie, Jamie, Jamie.
So that's a keyboard, like a typing thing. You just put in words, letters.
It's an iPad.
No, really, isn't it? It's a.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's like his was an iPad, and basically there's like a folder of categories at the bottom. So if you need like preposition, like not that they're using prepositions, but like if you need like places, you'll hit the place button, and then Jason's is it looks like a tablet sized.
Hey, really quick, I should say we love the comments. You guys are awesome. If you really want to comment on this, I'm not sure where you're watching it, but most of our comments we can see are from YouTube. I can see Facebook, Andrew's on there, but most of the ones that come through are from YouTube. So do us a favor and find us on YouTube and then subscribe and follow that way.
Jason, I don't think. Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't see Twitch for a second. Oh, there it goes.
Is Twitch? I think Twitch is on there too, right?
Yeah, Twitch is on there as well. Yeah, we're definitely getting them from Twitch.
Yeah.
Facebook and YouTube and Twitch are the three big ones.
Yeah, that's the big one. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Oh my God, look at that.
Honestly, just really, really quick. Thank you guys for commenting, because every week I do the show and I'm like, I'm making my kids downstairs. I have to go, shut up, give me your iPads, don't move. And same, I'm sure Kate is like got the door locked and stuff, and we're doing this. So when you guys comment, it really means a lot. And so I'm always like, I gotta do a show. And then by the end of the show, I'm laughing my ass off because you guys make me laugh so hard. So thank you for commenting.
I know you guys have the best
You're
community.
Welcome. I know, right?
What's going on with Ruppel? Is he still on the show?
No.
He's
No,
he's off. He's bouncing. He comes back once in a blue moon, but he
pops in once in a while.
He also doesn't have kids, Kate. So you knew.
By the way, I was pointing this out from day one. Just want to say that.
We all were.
He does the impressions.
It was like a cult. He was a Svengali, and he had us. And
there was always a lot of arguments from the single side.
Yeah, it was like we were like, it's the parents' lounge or the thruple lounge.
Yeah.
That's in a whole other podcast we do.
Yeah,
it's a different podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole different audience.
The Poly Lounge. It's the Poly Lounge.
Let me read this one. Andrew says, in preschool at Valentine's Day last year, all the kids had to tell the teacher what they love on a poster on the class door. Every single other kid wrote family or mommy or a variation therein, except my kid, who wrote oranges and peanut butter sandwiches.
By the way, I just want to say, Andrew, I feel like that is a fake statistic. Get your stats right, man. It's a callback.
Yes, that is very
just kidding, Andrew. I'm just kidding.
I will share one piece of parenting thing that happened to me today. So my wife's been traveling a bunch, so it's been me and the kids, and I've been one of my New Year's resolutions, as is every year, is to stop screaming on a daily basis. I'm trying, Kate. I'm trying.
That'd be like me giving up drinking. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen, pal.
But you did give up drinking.
Yeah, and guess who's right back on that horse?
Oh, I missed you.
Oh,
cheers.
yeah.
Cheers, my love. Oh,
cheers.
Yes, cheers.
I
Listen, I saw David Lynch interviewed after he passed. I'm a huge David Lynch
No,
fan. And
no, correct that sentence. The syntax was wrong. You did not see David Lynch interviewed after he passed.
That's true. It was well. I did see it, and that one was very
good call.
very quiet interview. It was
Just so we're clear.
That's an impossibility.
Interview that David Lynch did after I saw it. He had done it. You know what I'm saying. But he was talking about, and I thought this recently because I don't know about you guys, but I keep seeing things online that are like, it feels like everyone's quit drinking. Like no one's drinking anymore.
It's called
And
January.
I just don't think that's true, A. And I feel like I worked really hard to get really good at it. And I don't want to, I'm not ready to retire just yet.
I mean, you put the work in.
Yeah.
You don't want to hang up your.
I don't want to hang up my spurs. And so David Lynch, anyway, the interview, he goes, I don't want to quit drinking. I really enjoy wine. And I go, yeah. I really enjoy Blue Velvet with a glass of wine. So yes, my friend. But here's what happened today. So I've been, every day I'm with the kids. Last night I had to spend 90 minutes trying to teach Claire long division. And I'm pretty proud because the teacher sent an email out today and it was to the whole class. And it said, the test I gave out today, no one, there was only a couple kids that could finish it. It was train wreck. So I pulled it and we're going to give it again tomorrow. And then Claire came home. She goes, no, I finished it. And I go, but 90 minutes of me teaching long division, that was seriously painful. But the other one got in the car and started screaming at me today. And so we had a huge fight. And I kind of lit her up. And so she wrote me a letter of apology that she brought up to me upstairs. And she handed it to me. And I said, you know what you've been doing a lot lately? You explode. And then you go into your room and you write this little apology letter and you hand it to me. And you think that gets you off the hook. And so she took the apology letter and she tore it into a million pieces and threw it all over my room. And I was like, okay, so that's not how you apologize to somebody.
No, it turns out, yeah.
And so they laid there for a while. And then later, we made up and she did the dishes and she did a lot of stuff. And then she took the apology letter and she taped it.
That's some Mary Poppins shit right there. She put it in the chimney. It reconnected itself.
Dear Dad, I am really sorry for acting up. I was mad that I worked so hard all week and now the small paper messed it all up. She had written, there was an assignment that she got dinged on for something that she didn't do right. And it says right here, there's a frowny face. And then it says, with much heart and sorrow.
Sorrow. Oh my God. That's
much heart and sorrow, Hannah. And then after she retaped it, she wrote up in the corner, I hope you can forgive me, frowny face.
So where's the letter for ripping up the letter? That's the question.
That's what I wanted. I wanted a letter that said, I'm really sorry I ripped up the first letter.
I'm sorry.
And then there'd be another letter of like,
yes.
You're going to rip that one up.
I lit the second letter on fire. And I'm so sorry I took the third letter and shoved it up my ass. I'm really, every letter gets worse. How are you feeling with this yet?
She's 11.
I'm sorry, again.
You're in so much trouble. She's 11. You're done, dude. You're done.
I was just trying to figure out what grade she's in now. She's 6th.
She's in 6th, and
she's still at the same school because it's private. Does it go through 8th?
It goes through 8th. And this is what happened today. Apparently, some neighbors dropped off some clothes that I don't know about, and she found them. And so,
dong, 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 dong.
Oh my God.
The 70s, really 70s outfit that she found.
Who in Scooby-Doo is your neighbor? That's the
question. By the way, I don't know. Man. How great. That's my 11-year-old.
Your neighbor is Velma?
It's so funny because I was so mad at her. And then she kind of came up and she goes, hey, Dad. And she came around the corner. She was like in like a disco pose. And I was like, all right, that's
pretty good.
All right, pretty good. How are the boys doing, Kate?
Yeah, how are the?
You know what? It's just been a strange. If we're trying to keep it, it's just been a strange year, guys. It's just been a strange year. That's all. Everybody's doing okay, but it's it was a lot. We got to go home to Chicago while my father was for the last 3 weeks of my father's life, and that means we were there when it happened. And there's stuff that comes with that. There's stuff that comes with it for all of us, and
for sure.
So it's then our state was on fire, and we were we got back. We had this we went to Ireland. My mom took my father's life insurance money and took us all to Ireland over Christmas. So right after Christmas. So it was my sister and her kids and my mom and myself and Dickie and the boys. And we all went to Ireland and we had this great trip. And then we come back and it's like, it's a strange that we come back to school and then there's these crazy winds and that's kind of scary. And like, some stuff, like some shingles are flying off our roof. And then we wake up and it's just every side. If you look at the map of the fires, it was the survivors. I mean, I don't know how you felt about it, Jamie. The survivor's guilt of like just sitting in your home and like watching the watching the Pasadena or the Palisades fire come down over that. It's just been a strange time.
Super close. You were in the path and you were super close. My wife was losing her mind. We've talked about it last week's show about she had the luggage packed. And I was like, look, we're okay. We're in the lowlands. You guys are up in the beautiful canyon kind of section of Burbank, and Eaton Canyon's really just over the hill from you. So I actually thought about you guys and I was watching.
Yeah.
Did you see the flames?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Not from Eaton. We could see them when the Palisades fire started coming down towards Encino in my backyard. I think it was Thursday night. We were watching that fire.
We have pictures of that.
I could see
Yeah. From our roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just the whole, it's just a weird time. And I think that like the anxiety, like I think I'm seeing anxiety, at least in my older son, that is not, it's beyond anything I ever had at 9 years old. And I don't know if that's because, I mean, I wouldn't have changed anything about the summer. We were all there, but also like they really grew up fast this summer.
Yeah.
We were able to. Yeah.
How were they with your dad passing? Did they go to the funeral? Were they graveside?
So it's one of those things where I was raised Irish Catholic. I no longer am, but I guess I should just say Catholic. I'm still Irish. I'm no longer. I'm still Irish. But the open casket wake thing is not my bag. I know it's every Catholic's. You gotta have an open casket. I wanted them to have nothing to do with that. Yeah. So I will also tell you this. We were so lucky. Like I went into overdrive. Like I just took care of stuff. I was like, okay, gonna just like get my dad out of the rehab facility, gonna get him home, gonna get the hospice bed in, gonna call hospice in. Like, so he was able to be at home when it all happened. And that, like, how many people get to say that? We were so lucky. Yeah. Like it was really like a privilege that, like, I think about my uncle had died in January, the prior January, and like died in a hospital, like just with nobody, like my aunt wasn't there, it just, it was really like a privilege, but it was a lot, I won't go into any details. It's a little,
it's weird with kids. We had my wife's mom pass during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Late 50s. And it was,
young.
Like to have the conversation with the kids was crazy. But I know what you're saying about, what's funny, as an Irish Catholic, even as a kid, I remember like the open casket, and I would always be like, people would be like, well, people needed it, is what they told me, so that they could understand that person was gone. And part of me was like, what if I don't want to know they're gone? And I don't want to, like, I still see, like, when I think of people who've passed, I think of the picture of them in the casket, which I don't want to remember. I want to remember them the other way that I saw them. So for me, I kind of agree with you about, like, that's why I want a Viking funeral. I want to be pushed out in a boat
and lit on fire.
And I want somebody to shoot an arrow into it and light it on fire.
I volunteer as tribute.
Wow.
A question: Do they make them look?
I got some dates. I got to clear with you. Go ahead, Jeff. Say again.
No, I was asking. I don't know anything about. I'm Jewish, so I don't know anything about open casket. Do they make them look so much good?
Better. Yeah, they make them. Well, here's the thing, Jeff.
What do they do to them? Do they?
So I don't believe. Do Jews embalm still?
No, I believe
no, right? Because you guys have to do it. You guys have to, like, you die, and then they're like, we gotta get you in the ground. Like, you guys have like 8. Is it? How it happens very quickly. The best thing about Jewish service is the actual people like putting the dirt on the.
Yeah, we do put dirt on the ground.
It's the best. That's the best. I love that. No, it's just they get embalmed, and then you like have to go like it's
A lot of
all like
makeup.
all of it's very like because that's also like my mom was like, what are
They
we
don't
gonna
look. They don't look like they did.
and also like
Yeah.
there's something strange
They look
about
like
the
they're
eye.
sleeping, and you're like, no, they don't
No,
look
they
like.
don't. They
They're
look like
very waxy. It's
they
very.
look like
guys
they
are
look
putting
like they were
doubts
just
in my head about wanting to be taxidermied after I go.
yeah, it's not gonna yeah, I would say no. I would say opt out of that because
Well, here
wanna be
was why I
topless.
wanted to do it though, is because I wanted to be posed in my yard like one of those 12-foot skeletons, and you could just change out my outfits depending on the
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was where I was going with it. But sure, I mean, I trust you guys if you don't think it's the best option.
I feel like go for just put your voice in the robot. You know what I mean?
Which I have done.
I know that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're covered. I feel like you're covered.
That's great. That's the way to
Yeah,
go.
I don't. It definitely. It's one of those things. Actually, I'm very curious. How many of you have wills and like we don't have a will?
We
Do
don't.
you
We
have a will,
don't.
Kaler? You do.
We got to work on that.
Well,
Everything.
you're closest to the time.
We have a
Right.
trust. We went and put everything into a trust.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Wow.
that.
Yeah,
That's
and you
Yeah,
should
do it.
absolutely do it because, well, I mean, we did it because I'm 120 years old.
You're
and I'm violent.
120 years old.
100
And when I go to the
100%.
quickening, if somebody cuts my head off, it's the end of it. I'm out.
Mhm,
Oh
mhm,
man.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I need to make, I need to make sure, I need to make
The quickening.
it okay. So we did it. Everything's in a trust. My wife signed it, so I think if I just fall down the stairs, she gets everything. I don't know how it works.
Well, there's also life insurance, right? Like, so
Oh,
we've got like the
so-
life insurance, but the
she took
apparently
out
the,
life insurance out.
the thing with the will is that basically, and I don't know if this is just true about California. Actually, Andrew, if you're still there, check this for me. I don't know if it's just true about California or if it's in general, but like at least in California, I think if you and your spouse, or if it doesn't have to be a spouse, but like you
Partner.
and the other child's parent die at the same time, and you don't have a will, instead of like, oh, like my next door neighbor being like, the state immediately takes them
Yeah.
until
I
they
don't
can
know how
determine
it works.
next of
But
kin.
in our and actually, you know what,
The
Jason?
trust doesn't have a that way.
We should. I have a friend who does this. We should have him on the show because it's super important. So we have a trust that says everything of like if my wife and I both go in a plane, whatever happens.
Too soon, Kaler.
in a plane. So if my wife and I go
In a fire.
having sex on a beach in Maui and a wave sucks us back out.
Too
then-
late,
Too
Kaler.
late.
As somebody who
Right. That's
as somebody who dies almost every week, I
Yeah.
do feel like it's probably something I should do. I currently have COVID.
he does.
Oh my God.
You
We
do?
have
You
on
do
our
It doesn't go to probate, right?
Thank you.
in the trust, we have a list of people who take the kids who are alive, and if that one's dead, the next it goes to the next.
Right,
in-
right, right.
In order.
Wow, Andrew, thank
We-
you. I'm sorry.
You're on your own,
Nothing.
nothing. Um,
You're on your own. I know nothing.
We should have a guy on because honestly, here's the problem: is if something does happen to you, and the kids, yeah, it's a shit show.
But it's specifically if it's
fight.
both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is why
who knows?
Dickie and I are like the president and vice president. I'm like, no, you drive your own car. We can't be together. We don't have a will yet.
But you need
I
to.
don't really-
Yeah.
And I hope you have nice.
I'm
siblings.
leaving all my stuff to Mulligan's kids. My 3 don't deserve nothing.
Oh,
You don't like the gardener. You're just leaving it to Neil. Just be honest.
That's true.
I'm leaving it to Pornhub.
It's Neil and Tommy Johnson, and that's it.
Jeff, do you have a will?
We don't, and we need one immediately. That's a
You
that's
do.
a big.
You absolutely do.
I
It's
know,
not-
I know, I know.
Yeah.
That's especially right now. Her dad passed away in the summer, and so
We have a
Hey.
guy. We have a lawyer we went to, and we have a trust. We have a full everything's in trust.
I know. And my mom has a trust, and I know that it's much
Especially
easier.
with a house, like your house, everything. And here's the deal: if it goes to probate court, the state takes like a third.
Yeah.
Well,
Take a third of it.
this is the thing I always, and this is the joke. This is how I always end my stand-up set. But I always felt like, yeah, it is Jeff's face. Be fine, Jeff.
That's
Yeah,
my
I've
face.
noticed
I
it
know.
from jump. I feel like I always like the joke was always like, oh, we don't have anything to put in a will. I always thought it was like for people who were well off. I did not understand the child custody of it all, which is why I came up with that whole bit about like, I leave to you each all of the crayons from every chain restaurant we ever went to. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole joke, right? All of the cups from the medicine that we always
sugar
bought for you
packets.
and somehow never got rid of,
Yeah.
like because I was like, we have nothing to leave. but it's not actually what a will is for. It's not like for super wealthy people. It's about like literally when you die, who's going to be in charge of your kids.
And where the money goes.
Yeah. But also, but my whole thing is like, yes, I understand that. But like, if you're not somebody with a lot of money, you'd be like, oh, I don't need to worry about it. No, still need to worry about it. Because if you've got children.
Well, I don't think the will covers where the kids go. I think that's called a trust.
Now, does like my dad from Columbia House's record company, does that carry over, or does it what?
One penny
for sure.
That's Dark Lord's.
1 penny, 14 cassette
your
tapes.
assets. I think a trust will dictate who the kids go to.
Okay.
You know what's funny?
I
left my kids to Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I just go, they are filmed. They have 4 others. So I don't know if they know it's coming, but they're gonna get, if something happens, it's coming.
Listen, all I know is you're gonna get sued.
I started watching the it's on Hulu, Justin versus Blake. I started watching it and I was like,
is it a documentary now?
Listen, earlier I said how great California is. Hollywood can be pretty effed up. Where it's a power
That's
struggle.
Hollywood's not really here anymore.
Thing happening.
Yeah.
It's all YouTube and TikTok and stuff. But,
but
anyway, my kids are
Yes.
Well,
kids are ellipses.
Honestly, I'm so excited to have Mulligan. This is the Mulligan show. This is the
Mulligan show.
Oh God!
What's
Tap Dance Monkey?
Where's Dickie's album? Did he finish his album yet?
You know, it's funny. Dickie just sold another film to Nickelodeon.
For those of you who don't know, Kate's husband Dickie is a fantastic writer and a showrunner.
Well, former
show. Well, listen, once you're a showrunner, you're in the club.
That's what I keep telling him. I'm like, they'll hire you to be a showrunner again. He's like, not a chance.
I'm just gonna come up with the show. That's all.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. He's a wonderful writer, and I got to perform in one of his shows, and I'm still the
man. Allegedly is what killed it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like the Carnival.
I'm the Ted McGinley of Nickelodeon.
Yeah, they're like that Carnival Barker was a bridge too far. The show's cut. No,
Braun, pull it together. What's funny is my kids. So that's really funny, actually. My kids are starting to go back and watch like the series of Shake It Up and Austin and Ally, and these were shows that were shot when they were little babies, and now they're old enough, and so they're watching these tween shows. And I'm on them from like 10 years ago. I'm on Shake It Up, and so they're watching Austin and Ally, and like, Dad. Downstairs.
That's funny. That's happened to me too. That's so funny.
I go, that is me on Austin and Ally.
That's
Jeff, you turn up everywhere. Like I'm just watching random shows and then bam, there's Jeff.
They texted me today. They go, "Hey man, I saw you on Jag." I was like, "I was on
Jag." Oh my God.
Jag.
The best. Dude, it was one of my first credits. My dad was still alive. I had called him weeks earlier, and he was like, because when I got out of the Navy, I quit the Navy. And so my father was so pissed. And he goes, he was like, all right, fine. We'll clean out the back bedroom. And I go, I'm not moving home. Are you insane? He goes, you're always welcome. And I go, whatever. And then, so I moved to LA and I joined a theater company. He goes, oh, well, that's doing pretty good. How much you get paid for that? And I go, actually, I pay $50 a month to be part of Acme Comedy Theater. And then I booked Jag, literally one of the first, and I'm Staff Sergeant Johnson. I'm in like 7 scenes, but I go, the governor's here. And then I pull the door shut. Like, that's all I do is go, Mrs. Clearance is here. And I pull out or whatever. And so I call him and I go, hey, I booked Jag. I'm on the show Jag. And he goes, oh, that's exciting. And I go, he goes, what do you play? And I go, I play Staff Sergeant Johnson. And he goes, you were a lieutenant when you were in. You got out to play an enlisted man? What the fuck? He goes, here's your son, Peg. And he handed me off to my mother. And that was the end.
Let me, you know the question I need to ask about this. Do you remember what my obsession is with the Navy?
Well,
were you in the dress whites?
Of course. I have them in my closet.
I know, but I'm saying on the show because I will watch Jag for the first time ever. If you're in the dress.
Fatigues. I was in fatigues. No, I was not.
Oh.
You know, I wear them at Acme quite often.
But if you ever say again, Jeff,
You wore them in Acme quite often. I remember you wore
the dress
you did
whites.
sketches
I had.
where you could use them.
The sheer mention of
Hold
those
on,
dress
yes, I
whites
could.
got lamb chops fleece a little moist. She was on here and went at Kaler hard. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
I believe it.
That's
Lamb
funny
chop
that you
and I-
remember that because Jeff and I did 1 million sketches at Acme Comedy Theater.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to see Jeff last night at the Groundlings do their. For those of you who don't know, the Groundlings are like Phil Hartman and Mindy Sterling and all that SNL, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, and Jeff. I went. I love that theater space, dude. And I watched Jeff do an improv show with the recurring members of the Groundling Company.
Was it the Sunday Company? No.
No, it's a Crazy Uncle Joe. Was it Crazy Uncle Joe?
It's Crazy Uncle Joe. It's got like you probably know Flo, like Stephanie
Courtney's in it, who's
Stephanie
Flo
Courtney,
from Progressive.
right. A lot of people work a lot. Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's awesome. Yeah, the stage.
Drew
is great.
Droege he did Heather's with me. Drew, who I knew from last
Oh,
night.
Drew Droege. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's very nice.
he's so funny, man. He's so great.
And that place always gets an audience, no matter what.
Crazy. It was packed like a Wednesday night. I was gonna bring Hannah.
Always.
I should tell you this. I don't know. My daughter, so they're doing Matilda at the school, and she's done the school play every year since like 3rd grade, and she's never gotten a big part. She's always part of the chorus or whatever. And she, even last year, she had one line, and her line was, "Look, food." And so in the play, she goes to do the play, and her line is, "Look, food." And they get to her point, and she goes, "Food, look."
Oh my god.
It's 2 words, and she inverted them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
part of me was like, actually, food look is way funnier than look food. And so I had this conversation with her about how her brain works but she was like so distraught that she had inverted it.
Oh,
So she had to sing. So they had the auditions for Matilda this past Monday. And like 2 weeks earlier, she'd come up and she's like, I'm gonna sing Phantom of the Opera. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of tried to talk her out. I was like, it's a really hard song, by the way. And so she sang it for me. And she sang Phantom of the Opera for me. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty.
you mean in sleep she sang to me?
And she fucking sang. So she didn't sing his part. She
Okay,
sang,
well that's the question. That's the main
she sang
question.
the girl's part. But dun, 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 na, 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 na,
Yes.
na, 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 na. And so, I'm like, I don't know if you know how songs work. That's a really hard song.
Yeah.
And so I tried to talk her out of it for like a day or two. And then she came to me and she sang it. And I go, all right, go for it. And she sang it. And apparently she's crushed it. She crushed it at the audition or whatever.
Oh my god.
So she's trying to get one of the, I don't think she'll get the main part, but she'll get hopefully one of the side parts. We don't know. But she's like, it's like, it brought back my like auditioning, like, just waiting by the phone of like, I murdered it. Why hasn't anyone called me? This is crazy.
Why didn't I get in the room? Why didn't I just get the job? Like,
I still feel that. I auditioned for the Alex Murdaugh, the murderer guy from like South Carolina who's like, who killed his wife and his son. And he was
part of the Murdoch family though, right?
Yeah. I read for the two brothers. And by the way, I look a lot like that family.
You do.
A lot.
Yes, 100%. Like,
I know, they didn't. So Jason Clarke's playing the main guy. Jason Clarke's such a good actor. So it might be above my pay grade, but
Jason Clarke. Sorry.
wait,
you know him in a heartbeat. He's
Jason Clarke. He was in the LA Lakers.
Yeah, he played.
show.
She didn't
LA
watch it.
Lakers. He was
Yeah,
in the
he-
LA Lakers. He was a basketball player.
He
He's
was
in one of
Jerry
the Planet
the-
of the Apes. He's great.
Oh,
He was very-
listen. Planet of the Apes. Was he Koba?
He's Koba. He's Koba.
Okay, cool.
Did you say dark? Did you say zero?
Zero Dark
Dark
30?
30. He's in.
Yes. Is he Osama bin Laden?
He's in
Yeah.
Lawless.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, can I
he's in
tell
Lawless.
you just
No, look at that.
one of my first auditions? I had to tell you this. I had three words. I was so nervous that I had to take my script in with me. And she said, "Go ahead." I said one word, and I dropped the piece of paper, and I still couldn't remember the other two words. It's on the ground.
They were look food.
I had to pick it up and say, "I'm sorry." I mean, I was so nervous. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're not even right
I've
there.
done. We've
It's
all
the
done.
worst. It's oh man.
I can
Horrible.
tell you. Oh my god! I mean, we could. You want to tell audition stories of horror? Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say I do think it's very like I feel like women that are reading for a part are always like there's like I don't know how the men waiting room it, but like, and I haven't auditioned in a billion years, but I feel like it was always just sort of like everybody was like sort of like oh hi, like sort of like sizing each other up, and like if somebody like came out and you knew they murdered, it was like
See,
it's not a nice place.
No,
but
I
I feel like the dudes are like, what's up? Oh, like I just feel like you guys are way chiller about it. Am I wrong?
I hate going to auditions for my type because it always smells like wet moose. It's not great. It's not a thing I enjoy.
Yeah, I got 12 bald guys in my room.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't easy.
So there's hope for my son.
Yeah.
I can tell you the worst audition stories of all time, man.
But are the guys nice to each other? Like, are you guys chiller with each other?
Yeah.
Once in a while, I feel like there's a shark once in a while.
There's a shark once in a while. I would
Yeah.
agree. Who tries to get in your head, and I could name some, but I won't.
Yeah.
But there are. I think for the most part, I never felt competition. I was like, I go, if I do my best work and I'm right for the part, then that's why I've always like, I call friends and go like, hey man, they're reading for this part. You'd be good for it too. You should, like,
yeah.
Other people are very protective and like, don't tell you about stuff. But
Those people are insecure.
I've had major tests in front of like 50 people on the top floor of ABC at Network where I just like I left in tears and I don't think I slept. I shit the bed pretty hard.
Oh,
and then the guy told me later, he goes, "Oh, you would never had a chance. They had already signed a deal with somebody else. They don't even know why they went with that audition that day. They were basically fucking with you." And I was like, "What?" Like it was.
I tested the only pilot I ever got to the test phase for was for Hazy Mills, which is like Sean Hayes and Todd Haynes, and I was like, so I remember like really feeling like you know like just when you're in the zone in the audition and then the call back, and I was like, okay, this could be the day.
Yep.
And I ate shit in that test. And like you have to sign the thing before, and I'm like, I don't know, is this enough money? Like I'm thinking that I have just the most humbling experience ever to realize like, no, you actually do not have what it takes. It was that was
you're signing contracts that are like, oh, I will make $1 million next year. Yeah, it's fucked up. And instead you're going to bartending that night.
It is true. You're already like spending your money.
It's bone crushing, dude. Yeah. I will tell you one of my very first auditions. So I had done a couple things in San Diego before I moved up here. I did like a Silk Stockings episode and a Renegade and like a SeaWorld commercial. And I got up here. I was like, here we go.
That's how you helped me get my SAG card.
Yeah.
A silk stocking or something. I can't.
Yeah. That's funny.
Silk stocking.
With some Stu Siegel show.
Sounds like I was gonna say it sounds like OnlyFans before OnlyFans.
I had just got out of the Navy. I was in some guy was in an improv group. He's like, you should come. I do it, and I fall into this thing, and then I moved to LA. That's where I met Jeff. 94. We auditioned for
right after the earthquake.
I was gonna say, where were you guys during the earthquake? Where were you guys during the OJ chase?
I was at Crocodile Cafe.
Oh my God.
Above on in Santa Monica, right on Ocean, and it's now Boa. It's Boa Steakhouse, but it was Crocodile Cafe, and he was going down in the white Bronco. God. And the murder house on Barrington, Bundy,
Bundy
was a mile from my house. Like we used to drive, I would drive by it, and then within a month they changed the whole front of it and messed it up. But yeah, it was crazy. 94. I moved here 1 month before the earthquake, and I was dating a girl in San Diego. This is crazy. And so I would moved up here, and we were kind of still in touch. And so she goes, "Oh, I'll come up and I'll visit you." And so she comes up the first night she stays here, the only night, first night she stayed in LA. the earthquake hit.
It was
4
cool.
What if it was your guys' fault?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Dude, Jeff, where were you?
I was in bed and I got thrown out of bed. I've never been thrown out. I heard tanks coming down the street.
Yeah.
I was like, we're being invaded. And then I got thrown out of bed and then everything fell off. Like, it was big and it lasted a long time.
I woke
All
up
I
on
had
the
was
floor as
Taco
well.
Bell
She did too. And
It was
she
4:30
got
in
up
the morning, right?
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning, and she got up terrified and ran into the wall and like
Mm.
knocked herself out. And
Yeah.
I
You
was
don't know that the wall didn't run into her. It was
the
moving.
wall
So.
definitely came to her. And I was like, I mean, I was in the Navy, so I was kind of like, I trained a lot in the darkness about like how to,
Yeah.
and so I was like, oh, okay, what's happening here? Like it was so textbook, and I was trying to get everything together. And so I was like, oh, I got to get matches, and I'm trying to light a match, and I'm trying to light a candle, and I can't light the candle, and I don't know what's happening, and I'm in the pitch black. And my friend who lived upstairs came down. He opened the door. He's like, "Don't light a candle. The gas lines are broken." And he hit me with the flashlight. And when the flashlight hit me, my hands were like this. That's why I couldn't light the candle, because I couldn't. My hands were shaking. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I had to take my girlfriend and put her over my shoulder and walk out. And then we sat on the front yard for like the whole morning, because aftershocks every 10 minutes, another aftershock of like, and car alarms were going off.
And they shut down the phones. My mom could not reach me for a long time.
And I was in Chicago, and all I remember seeing was the 10 down. How like there was that cop that went over the edge, and so I just assumed everybody in LA has gone over the side of a freeway today. Like it just
was on the 118. The 10 at Pico went down, and that was the 10 at Pico. I lived a mile from there. I was at Pico and Robertson. That was my first.
Happens a mile away from where you live. I just like to point.
Wait a second. I was at Pico and the 405, like right.
You were?
Yeah, that's where I live.
I was by Pat's restaurant on Pico. I was in the Hasidic Jewish neighborhood for some reason.
A lot of walkers.
I was there for about 9 months, and then I was like, "What am I doing here?" And I moved to Santa Monica.
Funny.
You were like, I got to be closer to the house O.J. Simpson's going to murder his wife.
I was riding my bike to work. I got this job at the Crocodile Cafe. I would make like $13 on a lunch shift. And then some dude came in, and I was shooting the shit with him. I made him laugh, and he was an Irish guy. He goes, I'm opening this fucking bar, O'Brien's down on Main Street. You should bartend for me. I go, dude, right now. And I think I grabbed my shit and walked out the door with him, and I got the job. And then I was at O'Brien's for like 10 years until I ended up getting my boys or whatever. But
yeah, that's funny.
Good times, man. That's so crazy. The night, and we didn't, we didn't have. I do think, you talk about your kids and it really is social media.
My kids don't have social
media. By this flat Earth guy, this MMA boxer. I keep saying, unfortunately, I sent one to Jeff laughing.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, how can if a helicopter takes off and the Earth's spinning at 155,000 miles an hour, how can that helicopter land back down? The Earth's flat. And it's got like 1 billion views. And
NASA's one letter off from Satan.
You sent that to me. I thought you were trying to draft me into a cult.
He goes, NASA, think about it. It's just missing a T, and it's Satan, and it's got 1 billion views. And you're like, it's not about quality or anything else. It's about numbers and views and everything. And our kids are growing up in this world where the most negative things on earth and the worst and the stupidest things on earth garner the most views and thereby make the most money and become real. Is that right, Jeff?
It's also scantily clad. I mean, the women, I get the impression that they have to do something to get those numbers, and TikTok especially. I mean, it is just relentless.
Yeah, they're also like you have to talk like that.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. But your kids don't have social media, do they, Kaler? No.
My son he doesn't. Yeah, he has a phone.
Yeah, and your kid, right? You have a son, right?
They do
son and a daughter.
What's that?
You have a son and a daughter, right?
I have a son and daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son just got a phone, but they
communicate with each other on iPads, right?
What's that?
their school works on iPads to a degree. And so when they get home, a lot of times Hannah especially will be like, we're all studying. You know, she's trying to study with her friends on iPads. And I don't, you know, I'm trying to, and so, you know, it's funny. I have anything they do on their iPad, I have to approve.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that.
did
And I
Claire
can
set that up for you?
15 minutes, I can approve for 1 hour, or I can approve all day. And
I
so,
saw that.
and I'll play Roblox without me literally approving it anytime.
We're way past. We're not even. We're terrible.
You don't have that? It's the best.
No, I mean we
But
just
your
tell
kids are
them,
older, aren't they,
yeah.
Jeff?
They're 14 and 12.
Okay. Oh, so just hardly older than 12.
His son's his height. It's crazy.
My son is. It's
His
crazy.
son is huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so don't
Yeah.
say no to him. He gonna mess you up, boy.
He's hit me in the face many times. Yeah.
Have you seen Josh Wolf has a great bit about you
Fighting
know,
with kids. That was
Yeah.
the first episode Mulligan was ever
Yes,
on. Was
I
that?
love-
with
oh my God, I
Josh
love
Wolf.
Josh Wolf.
Do you ever think you and your son will like come to blows?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We're doing it now.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I got to go.
I
now.
remember when I was 16, my father and I we went nose to nose
Wow.
on like about I forget what it was. And we didn't throw, nobody punched, but it was like, you know, like we were in each other's face about like, let's do this. And it was crazy. Looking back now, I can't believe I did that to him, but I did because I was 16 and I was like, you're holding me down. I was in that, you know, dick
Like,
mode.
what do you mean you have to approve my Roblox?
I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy.
How many
Yeah.
kids were in your family though, Kaler?
I'm the youngest of 6. So by the time I came along, he was 40. It's funny because I'm kind of mirroring him. He was old when I was a kid.
Honestly, I feel like if were we able to do an interview with him after he died, just like you did with David Lynch, if we were able to do that with your dad, we'd be like, did you get in your son's face at some point? And he'd be like, was that kid my son? Like, I don't know that he would know that you were his kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're the youngest of 6. He was like, that neighbor boy was real salty today. Like, I don't know that he knows you were his. Like,
Hey, we have to let Jeff go. Jeff
Yeah,
is
I gotta
going.
go.
yes. Oh,
right.
Jeff.
Can you hang for a second though, Kate? Let's
hang
do
for a
the 3 of us and we'll let Jeffy Lou go. 'Cause I
Can
know
you
Jeff-
unhook me, Jason? Because
you got
I
it.
have trouble getting back on Twitch.
You got it.
So
Jeff,
see
everybody
so good
later.
to see you again.
with Jeff, jump over to Jeff.
You're
Jeff's on Twitch
I'll
right
be
now.
playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so check
Oh,
it
how
out.
exciting.
And what's that?
We'll
It's
say
so exciting.
Yes.
we'll wrap up with Mulligan. It
I'll
was
see everybody later. Bye. Good to see you again, Kate.
So good to see you. How do you feel
Jason.
about Tears of the Kingdom? We'll talk about it later. Okay.
So good. We'll talk later. Bye bye.
Okay, we'll talk later.
I see. We'll wrap this up quick, but I was just so excited to see you, Mulligan.
I know. It
I
actually
was.
really
Brandon has been asking for this. And,
Brandon!
Brandon has been asking for this, and we have a lot of people ask where you're on. So
Oh,
you know this
that's
is your
nice.
home, and you can come
Thank
here
you.
whenever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's actually so good to see you both. It's usually so also it's a Thursday night. We used to do Tuesdays.
Yeah, we moved to
Dude,
Thursdays.
we-
It's great. Listen, I missed everything. No one tells me anything in this house.
Nobody tells me anything either. I just kind of am told.
James doesn't like to talk about his work on the show that he's been
Yes.
doing. He's been doing our social media secretly. We've been paying him for a bit now.
Yeah, I believe it.
How is Tommy Johnson, by the way?
Tommy Johnson's sort of hibernating right now. Everybody, that's my tortoise. If you didn't know, he's sort of hibernating right now. He's as low key as you can be, but he's big enough now that I can stick with a double-sided stick, stick an air tag on him, and he has full run of the backyard now. So it's great.
Oh, that's cool. Jace asks about him quite often.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, Jace asks about him.
How is everybody? So listen, Hannah and Claire. Hannah, it's Claire's still an angel.
The best. Yeah.
The best. Just like I know.
They're
Claire's
both great. It's so funny. We're Hannah and I are we're bonding. She's great.
but you also like that is you. You understand
Me.
that Hannah is you. Okay.
So
I'm glad I didn't have to break it to you.
I talk to her all the time about it. I go, you're kind of lucky that I know
I'm
exactly.
still alive. Sorry, what?
Yeah. I know what she's going through because as a kid, I couldn't sleep. Like I was buzzing. If I went to a friend's sleepover, I'd literally be up all night long. I couldn't I couldn't just turn off my brain. And she and I are very similar. And I try to guide her into the way of like, listen, this is going to be a lifelong thing. You're going to have to deal with this thing. But it can make you super successful. You can use it in a positive way, but you also have to know when it's getting the best of you. And, you know, I'm ancient and I still am like trying to come to terms with it all. And I think everybody, you know, everybody's in their own head. And I think that's a big lesson about like, you just don't know what anyone else is going through. And it's, you know, and so when I talk to her a lot, I can see it. And I talk to her and I go, you feel it? Like all of a sudden she starts acting up and I don't start yelling at her. I go, you feel it? You feel it, right? You can feel the energy. And a lot of times it's because she's nervous about a test. So she acts up and I go, you're acting up because you're nervous about a test. And she goes, she can kind of see it, but to be able to control it at the age of 11 is, I mean, it's really
a lot for sure.
Control it at 60. So what do I know? You know?
Yeah. Jason and Jace is good. I mean, you talked a little bit about the twinsies, but Jace is good.
Yes. So he has a teacher this year that gets him. And that has
the best
been
thing in the world.
It has been a game changer for him. He went from really struggling. He had almost straight A's on his report card.
Your kids get letter grades?
Yes, we get letter
like
grades.
This weird, like consistent or somewhat regularly or rarely. Like we don't get it. So
for a little while they were doing spelling or like symbols, and I wasn't comfortable with him getting an alligator in spelling, so I don't know.
Like I don't know the hieroglyphs. Could we just? That's amazing.
But he's doing really good. He does still refer to you as the best babysitter he ever had.
It was also a very fun night. I mean, come on. You got to go to like a party, like a rap party after that.
Yeah, he got super wasted. It was not great.
Yeah, he was a handful.
Always. And his mother's that way too.
Well, you know what's funny? A lot of parents are quitting drinking now because, you know, they can't deal
because they're soft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the deal. They're you know, the kids don't know what a hangover feels like. So they act up the next day. And so what I've done is I took both of my kids last weekend and I got them absolutely shit faced. And then the next day, all I did was ask for snacks and more time on Roblox. And I think they understand now.
They understood now. They
get what daddy's feeling on.
See, we do family flip cup here and the twins are fucking money.
Some part of me believes that this is true, and you actually do it with like apple juice or something. Like this feels like too real of an example to not be real.
Juice!
Yeah. Dickie always jokes there's this the ice cream truck guy that's here, and everybody sort of knows him. It's this guy Mike, but it's the scariest ice cream truck it's like orange and the paint's peeling. And Dickie's joke is that he's always like, ice cream, cigarettes, which he's not. He does not say cigarette. But today, Dickie went into a whole thing today with the boys because of Thursday's ice cream truck day at school. Here's your $5. What are you going to get? And then Dickie's like, are you guys getting singles of the cigarettes or does he make you get the whole pack? What's Mike making? It's just a joke that like, if anybody else heard that would be like, why is he very nonchalantly asking his children how many cigarettes they're going to buy? But it's just a bit that they do. And we just are all like, yeah.
A lottery ticket, a quart of oil, an ice cream, definitely an ice cream.
That's how our school store is set up here.
I like a strawberry cooler vape pen, if that's possible. All right, listen, I have got to go because my wife's out to dinner. I have to put 2 kids to bed.
And I got to go because I have to teach 11 kids tomorrow.
And I've got 7 minutes before the gummy kicks in, and I'm incoherent.
I'm dragging you out with Dickie. Let's go do something.
Okay, fine. Sold. Right. Done.
All right. It was so great to see you. All right, listen, we got to wrap this thing. From Jason, Kate Mulligan, Jamie Kaler.
Bye, Brandon. Bye, Rudy.
The Parents Lounge. Go watch Jeff play video games.
We'll be back next week with Matt Knudsen.
Ooh, Matty K. Nate Bargatze's show last night. So he'll have some good stories. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next time here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, Jason. Feel better.